Okay, I hope you can see me because this recorder looks different today. I can't see myself as I usually can. And anyway, I'm going to try to record this and see if it works. And from last time, I never explained about our ex-president, the remainder of it that I was talking about, how he was perhaps affected by his childhood. Um, I read about his early life in which he was punished by his father, uh, who sent him to a boarding school. There, the leaders of the school had the boys themselves punish boys with infractions of their rules when they did something that they was against the rules. The boys themselves would punish those so-called bad boys. Our ex-president was punished, I believe, and then he participated in the punishment. And one time they punished somebody so badly that he ended up in the hospital, just to show the way these boys would do what they were allowed to do. And our ex-president was also given a huge reward when they let him lead the band down Fifth Avenue during his senior year. And I guess it was toward the end of the year. This was a great reward, a great honor. So with the plasticity of the brain up until you're about 25, you have the brain really picks up on things and changes the way it works. Changes, I guess it's the synapses that change a lot. So these rewards, I believe, would have quite an effect on his young brain at that time. So I was mentioning how different problems can be connected with rewards and punishment, and how they can also be improved by being aware of this and using it to a person's advantage. Another example of a problem would be ADD, which is an inability to focus on just one thing. The child who has ADD will be seeing everything around him. And I can imagine that could easily be connected with punishment, because if he's afraid of being punished, although this this is genetic, but it also could be caused, I believe, directly by his experience. Let's say he's under the threat of punishment. He's going to want to be looking around all the time to see, if he's afraid he's going to be hit over the head or something, he wants to be ready for it. And so he would tend to look all around instead of concentrating on one thing. So I see a connection with rewards and punishment in these various problems. I was present one time as a father threatened his son in a loud, scary way. Sure enough, the son was later diagnosed with ADHD. That means he was also hyper, which I can imagine you'd be jumping around quite a bit if you're afraid somebody's going to punish you. Ironically, his mother told me she gave him something sweet to calm him down when he had that ADHD. If he thought of that as a reward, I can just imagine what other emotional problems that situation could cause. One time his father scares him, then his mother rewards him, back and forth. That could end up being manic depression or who knows what. Another example is a woman who is abused by her husband. Now, this is a very typical thing on YouTube. There are many YouTubes about this problem. And sometimes it's the woman who is abusing the man. Usually it's the man abusing the woman. Now, how would a woman try to get over that according to my rewards and punishment? I would suggest that she think back. Well, first of all, get away from the man. Then, as she's thinking about this, she could try to think. She could write him a letter and express herself, her opinion about what he was doing in no uncertain terms. And then, of course, she would not send it. But in the process of doing that, she would be able to see things more objectively. And she also would, if from her past life, let's say she's been abused several times, she might have memories come back to her as she's writing to her husband or her present person who's abusing her. She might have memories of others, and then she could start writing to them. And if she has a huge backlog of many such bad, punishing memories, they might start coming very fast to her all at once, but probably not the very first day when she starts doing this. I don't know actually when that might happen, but she should be ready for that in case that happens by getting a coach, getting somebody that she can call to help her along with it in case she feels it's too much for her. There are people on the YouTube who offer to be coaches, and if she listens to them, she can see whether she likes what they say, and if so, she could maybe choose one of them, or I could coach someone if she could get in touch with me. And so in the process of looking at her situations from the past, she would be learning things as she remembers these things. Some of it could have been completely repressed, and she might actually not have even remembered it, enough to even think about it at all. And all of a sudden comes back maybe from her early childhood. Maybe she's 50 years old and a very old memory could come back to her. But in the process, it's very difficult to do. This process, it takes courage because she has to look at those very painful, raw memories and bring them back, and they hurt. It hurts again when she sees them again. That's why she repressed them in the first place. So bringing them back is a painful thing. It hurts, but she has to do that in order to clear out her baggage, shall we call it. And this is how she would do it, by bringing it back and writing letters, expressing herself in her letters, but not sending any of them, and continuously meditating as she is writing the letters. She will be seeing it and learning from what she is remembering in the process of writing it. There's something about the writing process which brings insights, all sorts of wonderful insights, and other memories. And as she's doing this, she might see that she was an enabler in some of these cases. Maybe she was rewarding the abuser. So there's an abuser and an enabler, or many enablers. And of course, there are different abusers also. Now, this is connected with rewards. Maybe the abuser, when he was a child, was rewarded, and he was treated as if he was better maybe than the rest of the children in his family. His parents rewarded him and did not reward, maybe they punished the other children. So they're making it seem like making him think he is better. So he becomes addicted because his parents made him feel that way, and that was his reward. By being rewarded, not only was he rewarded by his rewards, but he was rewarded by feeling that he was better. So to this day, he might feel better, and somebody will get maybe abused by him for his, and then that person abused by him, his wife, she might have given him rewards. And so when she's thinking back about this, she realizes, oh, I was part of a dynamic there. I was the enabler. I was enabling him to be addicted to and she is addicted to being punished because she chooses men like that one after another. And the reason she's addicted is because when she was a child, she was punished and she knew her parents really basically loved her. And so she thought of punishment as love, but it's not love, but she thought of it that way. So she became addicted to punishment. So she's like the masochist, and he is the sadist. So he's addicted to feeling important and to being the rewarded one. And she's giving him money, and there's a whole dynamic going on. And other people can get into that dynamic, can be included in that dynamic somehow also. These dynamics can go on and on and on, maybe with children and on, because they are not just limited to two people. Okay. Now, a person who's masochistic, always suffering for one reason or another, could start thinking, oh, why am I always suffering? Was I punished? Start thinking in terms, when a person is analyzing, they think in terms of rewards and punishment. Was I punished? Oh, yeah, I remember last week, so and so. Oh, my ex-husband, he used to punish me. Well, write a letter to your ex-husband. Just follow the same thing I already said. You write the letter, it makes you more objective as you're writing. It brings back other memories. Start writing those letters. In the process, you're getting insights. Think about whether you were part of it. Were you punishing or rewarding people? Or how were you cooperating? Maybe you've been cooperating with all these relationships. In the process, you gain a lot of insights. This could take about 2 years or so if you have a lot of baggage. But if you only have a normal amount, maybe medium, maybe it would take 6 months or 1 year. And you could have all this baggage freed from you, and you could get a feeling of freedom and a feeling, and you would have more understanding, which would give you that feeling of freedom and a light feeling and a happy feeling. Okay, perhaps in a sadomasochistic relation, the sadist, as I said before, would have memories of rewards that he may be addicted to the feeling of superiority which he gets by being rewarded by the masochist that he punishes. He may have had parents who acted like he was better than the other brothers and sisters and rewarded him. So he learned to confuse the rewards and feeling of superiority with real love, since that was how his parents treated him. Okay, there are other problems such as anorexia and bulimia, which can be analyzed and dealt with in a similar way. I was once substitute teaching in a pre-K class, that's about 4 years old, and there was a child there who refused to eat anything. It was a very, let me see, how much time do I have here? Oh, I don't have any time. Okay. Or do I? Yes, I still have less than a minute. Okay. He refused to eat anything. It was a very serious problem. He certainly needed to eat. I thought to myself that perhaps it was due to his mother using food as a reward. So when she came to pick him up, I asked her, and sure enough, she said she did. I told her not to. That's an example right there. Then I have 2 other examples, and let's see how many I can get. One time I theorized about an alcoholic son of a woman I knew. I asked her if she'd given him candy as a reward when he was a child. She said yes. And then this third example, there was a kid who wouldn't talk in school. So I thought, well, maybe he was punished. So I told him, I'll never hit you, no matter how much you talk. Sure enough, he started talking. That